right? The yud extended is a vav, which is gematria of 6, which is physicality. So the yud, when you sin, it transforms from spiritual to physical. It becomes the letter now when it extends down. Now instead of a hey, you have a kuf, right? Correct? Yes? The hey becomes a kuf. And that line that extends down is that leg of the pig we talked about earlier. What does that mean? The reason why you can't go back the same way is because if you're like the pig that convinces himself he's kosher, you can't go back the same because you didn't think you did anything wrong. You blocked your own entrance back in by your own deception. So you can't go back the same way, so to speak. You have to have a total change of attitude. Because right now, the way you are, you've extended yourself, become a yud into a vav, and you become a kuf. What is a kuf? What's a kuf?
Monkey.
A monkey. What's a monkey do? It mimics. There's nothing genuine about it. On the outside, what? It just simply copies. That's Asa. He copies. He's superficial. He pretends. Like the monkey that pretends he's a human, right? He's a kuf. That's the letter kuf. Letter kuf, kuf. Okay. So now let's come full circle. So the yud extends down, becomes a vav. That becomes a kuf. Becomes a kuf. You're blocked. You can't go the same way because you become a victim of your own deceit, so to speak. And so now what happens? So what do? So the only way back in is that you have to come from a whole different perspective. Now, we said that the letter Vav, the reed was stuck in the ground and became Rome, right? Now we get a picture now. Because Rome is the fourth exile. The fourth exile is the Chazir. The Chazir is all about superficiality. That's the reed of the Kana. Now what's the reed of the Kana? Why a reed? You got the Kuf, but why a reed? There's the word Hine, and then there's the word Kine, or Kana. Hine and Kana are the exact same letters, except one thing. In the hey of Hine, instead of a hey, it becomes a Kuf, right? Hine means here it is, which means here is reality. Hine is the world of reality. Kana is the world of illusion. It's the world of that fake pig saying, look, I'm kosher, right? So the Hine turns into a Kine. The Hine, which is real, turns into something superficial and fake. And so now we have our answer that the Romans, which obviously represent what Ace is all about, they were built on the reed. In other words, what does it mean? They took a hine, they took reality, and they turned it into a kana. They turned it into a reed, which represents the superficiality of the leg of the pig that blocks it. So when we say Rome was built on a reed, it doesn't mean literally, but it means on the concept of that reed, which represents the superficiality of the letter kuf of kana. All right? Okay, so we got this so far? Pretty kind of astounding kind of idea. Okay, so that's the chazir. I want to just bring it down to more practical terms. Okay, so now we have this idea that the chazir presents itself on the outside, superficially, but on the inside it's not. And the truth of the matter is, that's the generation we live in today. The generation today is all about image. It's really not what goes on behind closed doors, who you really are, but how you project yourself. It's all image, and we know that, right? Every politician consults with an image maker. How do I make my image or reinvent my image? It's not who I am on the inside. I just got to package myself differently. It's all about the packaging. We live in the world of packaging, right? Perfume. I'm sorry, ladies, but perfume. I believe that like 90% of the cost is the packaging. It's packaging. It's all about the packaging. And we fall for it all the time because we live in the gullus of Edom, we live in the gullus of the Chazir, we live in the gold of packaging. Hey, I'm kosher. That's packaging. And whether it's our presence in the packaging or anything that we fall for, or the clothing that we wear, it's packaging. It's if I'm wearing designer clothing, that makes me a different person because it's the packaging. It's all about image. That's the Chazir. Okay. So let's come full circle. In this Parsha, you also have a different story. The Torah tells us that about Tumah and Tahira, that if a sheretz, a dead animal, touches something, that thing becomes Tumah. Mm-hmm. If it touches something like metal, it becomes Tumah. However, the pasuk tells us, if it touches like something made out of pottery, it only becomes Tumah if the sheretz is actually inside that vessel. The mere fact that it touches the vessel doesn't make it impure. And the question is why? Why? How come by metal, if the sheretz touches the metal, it becomes impure, and by the pottery, it only works when it only is only metama, it only becomes impure when it's inside. So the Meshach had a brilliant insight. He said something can only You can only make something tummy if that thing has value. If it's totally valueless, it doesn't become tummy. In fact, even the nida, the beged is too small, the beged doesn't become tummy. It has to have something of value to become tummy. Otherwise, it doesn't become tummy. Metal has value in of itself. Metal is valuable. Pottery is earth. Earth has no real value, intrinsic value. The only value is its functionality, right? If it's utilitarian, if it can be used, then it's functional, right? So if the dead animal touches metal, it becomes impure, because the metal itself has value. It touches something in metal, it becomes impure. Touching pottery is not going to do anything, because pottery doesn't have value. Its only value is its function. So if the dead animal, the dead church, is inside the vessel, then the vessel becomes impure. All right? Good so far? Hold on. Good so far? Okay. Now, let's take this and try to extend it to how it applies to us. Who are we? Are we made out of metal? No. We're made out of earthenware. We're just made out of offer. So where is our true value? On the outside or on the inside? A true value has to be on the inside. Not like the chazir that says, our value is on the outside. Look what it is on the outside. No, that's a mistake. If we're made out of earth, and that's what Torah makes us out of earth. It didn't make us out of diamonds and precious stones. It made us out of earth to humble us. Your value is not what you are on the outside, not your physicality. Your value is what you are on the inside. And finally, how do we? So what's our avoda? What's our job? What's our role to play? It's interesting. When you do a mitzvah, perform a mitzvah, you say, I was yotzei the mitzvah, right? You count the sphere, you said, I was yotzei the mitzvah, which I think it was too early tonight to be yotzei the mitzvah, but anyway, right? You're yotzei the mitzvah. Why do you say yotzei the mitzvah? You say, I was makayim the mitzvah, I fulfilled the mitzvah. What is it? I took out the mitzvah? What does it mean? What does yotzei mean? Why do you say the word, to be motzi me with kiddush? Why motzi? Right? Right? What does motzi mean? What does that mean? So, we're talking about treif animals. So the Arizal says something fascinating. The Arizal says non-kosher animals are called machalos asuros. They're called forbidden animals to eat. Machalos, food that is prohibited from eating. Says the Arizal, let me share with you a deeper insight. Here's what's really going on. You know what's called machalos asuros? You see, every single thing in this world has a spark of kedusha that keeps it going, and then our mission is to extract that spark. Just like when you eat something, right? So you need enzymes that will digest or break down the food so that your body can nourish it from the nutrients. Well, guess what? In the same way, there are spiritual enzymes that allow your neshama to benefit from the food as well. All right? And what's the spiritual enzymes? So when you make a blessing, you extract this spark, right, which nurtures your soul, but you need to make the blessing, which then becomes the enzyme to extract the spark that allows your soul to be nourished. Right? Here's the kicker. It doesn't work by non-kosher food. Why? Because does a chazir have a spark of holiness in it? Absolutely yes. It couldn't exist without it. Nothing exists without a spark of holiness. The problem is you can't extract that spark. It's not extractable. The word asur, which we translate means prohibited, it actually means tie down, restricted. That's what it means. Asur, right? You say matir asur, you say in the morning. God frees those that are bound, right? So machal asur, says the Rizal, means the holiness is bound, it's trapped inside, and we can't extract it. And if you can't extract it, you can't eat it, because then you're not ingesting the enzyme, you're just eating the food part, which is damaging to your soul. It's only when you're able to extract the spark, right, that it's the enzyme for the soul. There's a little bit of a Kabbalah kind of stuff. You with me so far? Hopefully it's within our pay grade, we could discuss this, right? Okay? So bottom line is, so machalos asur is fast enough. Machalos asur is the reason why I can't eat the food is because there's a spark that's not extractable. It's asur, it's bound. That's how the Rizal learns why we call it machalos asur. He's saying, it's prohibited food. But a deeper level means, no, the spark is bound. When you do a mitzvah, just like when the Jews left Egypt, Yetziat Mitzrayim. Yetziat Mitzrayim, what do? We took every spark of holiness that existed in Egypt and we brought it out. And Mitzrayim is left as an empty shell. We pulled out every single, right? The Meshazim, like a net with that. The Mitzrayim is left totally bereft of anything. We pulled everything out. We will motzi every spark of kedusha. When you do a mitzvah, you're doing that. You're being motzi the spark. To be Yotzei Misimok. So our avoda is the opposite. Whereas Esav says, look at me on the outside. We say, no, but outside doesn't make a difference. You're made out of earth from there. That's valueless. Your value's on the inside. And what you need to do in life is to be able to be motzi, to extract and bring out from inside yourself the holiness that exists inside. That's trapped inside. All of us have kedusha inside, and we got to bring it out. And we bring it out through the mitzvahs that we do. So let's come full circle. Esav represents superficiality, and that's the leg of the pig of the kana that Rome is built on. And he becomes a victim of his deceit. Much like the fourth exile is exactly that same thing. We kind of just sucked into this image, and everything's all about image. But the real avodah is to get past that, to recognize that just like the earthenware can't is worthless and valueless other than its inside, a person's value is what they are on the inside. And then the avodah is to bring that inside out into the world, to be motzi, to bring that into the world, to bring that holiness, to extract the holiness and bring it into the world, and that's how we improve the world as well. So kind of this week's parsha, we kind of really connect together the fascinating idea of the chazir with the idea of the klicheres and the pottery, the idea of Yitzias Mitzrayim we just had, with being motzi, the spark, kind of connect all the dots together.
So Rabbi,
yeah,
it sounds like what you're making reference to is the destruction of the Second Temple, because there was so much hypocrisy.
Yes.
Phoniness.
Hello, that's exactly what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, that's why we've never rebuilt that Second Temple, because we haven't got past that yet.
The prophets railed against God, not interested in your sacrifice.
That's right.
Hypocrites and liars and thieves.
We haven't got past that. That's exactly the point. We're still in Gelos Edom for that reason, 100%. You hit on that? You hit on the nail on the head? Absolutely.
Got one thing right this week.
Huh? Sorry?
I got at least one thing right this week.
You got it. Well, hopefully. That's also pretty good. You got one thing right, yeah.
Did you hear about this research and invention in Israel? It came out actually last month, that they take a cell from a pig and create new meat.
Yes.
That is not only kosher,
it could be
but
kosher,
you can eat it with milk and everything.
It's
and there is a rabbi who says it is kosher.
Yeah, I'm sure being one of a rabbi, because it's...
But then if you can extract it from it's not only this...
Because they're not taking meat, they're taking the enzyme.
They take the
DNA,
cell.
cell. So that's not meat.
They also take a cell from pig, and they create special medication. It's for special cancer. And this is for insulin.
Yeah.
Two things. And they started in Israel. This was like 12, 13 years ago.
Yeah, so that's...
And so there are benefits from the pig anyway that is useful for humanity.
But it's not the
Even
pig.
though you say we cannot extract, maybe we have come to a point that Hashem says you will reach a point that you only see Hashem in the whole world.
Well, the truth is, the Gemara does say, but I don't think it's yet. I know it's not yet. The Gemara does say eventually the chazir will become kosher. That's true. I don't think we're there yet. But the reason why that's okay is because the prohibition is on meat, not something that there's never a prohibition on that which
that can create these other.
It's also just like you not only eat bugs, but every time we breathe, are we breathing in all these little, but those things that you can't see are not considered things that you have to concern yourself with.
How come figs are kosher?
But I'll tell you one thing. But I'll tell you one thing. The pig could be made kosher. Not the pig, when you extract the cell, because it's not saying. I'll bring you proof from the Torah. We actually learned this. Maybe we did. It says that when Avram served the Malachim, he served them chema, right, chalab and basar. Yes. Now the question: how can you serve milk and meat together? Right. And there are many answers. But if you look at the pasuk, it says he gave them the bakar asher asa. He gave them the meat that he asa prepared. But the word asa really means that he made, and it's brought down in the Zohar. And actually, the Malbim actually says it also, which is unusual. He says Avram actually made that meat with this what's called the Sefer Yetzirah. Don't ask me how. With Kabbalah, he made this meat. Because it says in the Torah, Asher Asa. Right, exactly. If that's the case, you could serve it with milk, because it's not real meat.
Of course.
That's why it's there you go.
Thanks.
There you go.
Vegan certified.
Very interesting.
Okay. Yeah.